What's up, Darren?
What it is. What's going on?
Well, we had a lot of news here in Colorado over the weekend.
I wrote a poem.
You did?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
All right. Colorado, where the peaks are high, and so is the guy that wears tie-dye. We wear skis, we eat kale in the streets, we claim to be vegans but still eat meat. Thank you.
So today's show is going to be fun, everybody. Welcome to the Colorado Show, the most serious news show in the Centennial State. It's not true, but we've a lot to cover. There might be some things that are a little more serious than usual today because there's a lot going on in our state. Before we bring on our two additional cast members today, we're going to hear from our incredible sponsor. We'll be right back.
I'm for another true life Alp story. I got a call from a friend of mine yesterday, honestly, true story, who said his girlfriend had just broken up with him over Alp. He wouldn't stop. And I thought to myself, that's kind of sad. And he said, no, it's not sad. Imagine if I'd married her. Now I know I was saved. Then the next day, this same friend is driving at twice the speed limit through a major American city, pulled over by a cop in a speed trap. Cop takes his license registration, goes back to the patrol car, runs him, comes back, looks in the window, and sees a tin of Alp on the dashboard. Pauses, stunned, says to my friend, "You use Alp?" "Yeah, I do," says my friend. "So do I," says the cop. "We all do." He looks at my friend thoughtfully and goes, "Drive safely, sir," and hands back his license and registration. No ticket. So in 2 days, he's saved from a tragic marriage to a girl who doesn't like Alp and a speeding ticket. All true. It's more than a nicotine marriage. In a nation of 350 million people, we're guessing there are about 350 million Alp stories. Email us yours. We want to know and read it on the air. Email tellall@alppouch.com. Tellall@alppouch.com. Give us your Alp story.
The sore throat and the low-grade fever, you know you are getting sick. So here's your choices. You can get sicker and miss work. Try to see a doctor this week or sit hours in a crowded waiting room at urgent care.
I have a smarter option for you. Open your medical emergency kit. Match your symptoms to doctor-recommended prescription in your booklet and take the right meds now and get well faster.
This is not a first aid kit. It's like having an urgent care in your home. It includes doctor-prescribed medications to treat over 39 medical issues like respiratory infections, strep throat, pneumonia, UTIs, and more.
No waiting to see the doctor and no standing in line at the pharmacy. It's right here.
Every home should have at least one medical emergency kit, and here's how to order.
Order online fast and save $45. Your kit with prescriptions to treat common and life-saving illnesses is rushed to your door. Visit twc.health/CDM, promo code CDM. That's twc.health/CDM, promo code CDM.
All right, we are back.
Yeah. Time for some seriousness, or like, what are we doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, pseudo. We have to welcome our guest, though. So first, you know her, you love her. She's, of course, in her car. It's Car Confession, Karen. What's up, girl?
I told Ash we got to get her some new shades, Karen.
No, I just got these. These are my Edna shades, and I like them very much.
My Edna shades. Mm-hmm. Love it. We also have a special guest joining us today, Colorado Free Press contributor and firsthand witness to radical communism on Friday. We have Charity McPike.
Hey. Yes.
Thanks for being here. All right, so we're going to start with the protest. We covered, and let me pull this in here. We covered on Colorado Free Press. Oh, I don't have it pulled up yet. Hold we covered the threats against the Bannon visit to Colorado. We covered this last week. We got to see what it looked like in living color. And where is my gallery of threats? Here it is. All right, let's pull this in. Capital of domestic terrorism. And here we go. So most of these were on Reddit. Some of them were on Yelp and other places. But considering what you've said and the fact that when you visit the Phil Long Music Hall website, you're met with a car dealership commercial, I assume it's the same fascist dipshit. Be a shame if those dealerships experience the same issues that Tesla dealerships have been experiencing recently. And here you can see this gallery of threats goes back down to when it was scheduled at the Marriott to when it was scheduled at Antlers. And then finally we ended up at the Phil Long Music Hall on Friday night. So lots of threats, forced the location to be moved a few times. And the event happened. We've got lots of video, lots of fun things. Charity actually spoke with some of the demons. I mean,
Oh, snap. How was that experience?
Peaceful protesters with
know,
really bad drum circles.
I enjoyed it.
I know you did.
I kind of like that stuff. We were outside next door to the venue, a shared venue restaurant, and could hear the drumming and the craziness. And we heard some protesters had just purposely gotten hit by cars. They were jumping on cars. And I thought, what am I doing here? I'm going to go over there and check this out. And no one wanted to go with me. So I'm like, thanks, guys. I'll be fine. That's fine. So I went over and just started talking to some of them. Got my camera out and was met with, just a lot of ugliness and fingers, and fascist was their favorite word. And
I got Nazi Karen.
I got that a lot. Yeah, I got that a lot. And I've got, you're ugly. And so,
hold on.
Let's give people a taste. Let's
show them.
Here. So here's
you ugly?
Yeah, they did.
The face of the
we'll get there. Don't stop jumping ahead, Darren. All right, here we go. Here's the first one. Now, let me preface this. I got there at 2:30 because my date, Becky, was helping set up the event. And so I was there with, before the police presence, but the protesters were out there early as well. So this is early on. This is the opposite side of the venue than what Charity's videos and most of my videos show, because they moved. But early on, they were on the other side. And you can kind of get a sense of the people that we're dealing with.
Here's our Karen. What is this? Read a book. Actually, it's a comic. It's easy to read. You dumb motherfuckers. Read a book. Read a book.
You guys got all the vocabulary, don't you?
You know what? I heard you say.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Yeah, what did I say?
You said suck a cock. I heard you.
Yeah, because she called people cocks.
You know what, dude? You're a sad old man.
Oh, yeah.
And you're a sad Karen, and you got to film it. Makes you feel better.
To be fair, I was filming it because she was unhinged and hilarious. But
this is insane.
Well, you don't know what's going to come. I was afraid to turn my camera off. I thought as soon as I do, someone else is going to jump in front of a car, right, or attack me. So it's a safety device.
So they were throwing themselves in front of cars.
Oh yeah, I have video of the fall. I don't have them throwing themselves at the cars, but I have video of the people that did talking to the police afterwards. Do you want to see that one?
Yeah.
I missed it.
Can't make this.
So I walked out there and I didn't know what was going on because I had been inside. But they were starting. So now we're on the opposite side of the street than the one that I just showed you. Because they've got some decent numbers. I'd say they probably had around 60 people at the peak. A little bit of time. But here in a few seconds, you're going to see a woman with an F Trump shirt and pink hair and another guy. And she's telling the cop that somebody tried to kill her. Because that's what they were saying. They were throwing themselves on cars and then claiming that Republicans hit them with the car. Prior to this, there wasn't a huge cop presence. There was like a couple patrol cars that kept going around. Here you'll see. So those are the two people right there that were throwing themselves on cars. And the reason that those two were allowed inside the parking lot is because they were having an interaction with police. Otherwise, the protesters weren't allowed to come onto the property because they were not ticket holders of the event.
You know, the fascinating thing about this is like, I honestly believe if you sat down one-on-one with one of these people and asked them what the hell they're out here screaming about, they really couldn't explain it to you in a cohesive manner. Like,
No.
Are you suggesting, Darren, that this guy doesn't have a solid, and if you need to see him from the back?
No, we can. No.
Yeah. Work. Turn to the left. Work it. Girl.
Sante. Sachet.
Yeah, we need better enemies.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, of course they don't know. And that's actually a great segue into Charity's videos to listen to what they're. So I'm going to play I'm not going to get into your interaction yet. I'm going to play this one that you had. So the sun is going down. They're consolidating. Drums out. Abortion is a human right.
In what world?
Not for the human being aborted, but for the human attempting to murder, wanting to murder. It's a human right to murder your offspring.
Abortion is a human right. Abortion is a human right. Pro-life is a distortion. Pro-life is a distortion. They're just anti-abortion. Pro-life is a distortion.
Oh my God.
Charity doing the Lord's work. I don't know where Karen went. She'll be back, I'm sure.
Yo, how do I get a grant to just live far away from these people? Like, is there like a grant?
You do live far away from these people.
Well,
you live in Miami.
I do though. I do.
You don't move any closer to Colorado is what you do.
Okay, all right.
There's a stay on your side of the Mason-Dixon.
Well, no, that would be the Mississippi. Mason-Dixon goes up.
Oh, that's up and down. Okay, stay on your side of the Mississippi. Sorry, I just know how much you love referencing the Mason-Dixon. I was trying to tee you up there, but all right. So now it gets really interesting. So Charity, you're set this up for people. You're having a conversation with this guy, and then some folks walk over.
Sure. So this guy actually approached me and said, "Hey, I'd be happy to talk to you." And I said, "That's great." And he kind of pulled me down to the end of the line, so we weren't as crowded. And it's interesting because he did want to converse, and he wanted to really express that he's very educated and he really does know what he's doing. And Ash, I meant, and I'm going to do it later, I asked him, well, what are your news sources? And he specifically said, well, it's not CNN and it's not Fox. And I said, well, good, we agree on that. And started finding all these points we actually agree on. Like, we're anti-BlackRock. Okay, so am I. We kind of went through all of the facts that we both agree on. And so to your point, rather, because I think what I thought where you were going to go with that is sit down and have a conversation with any one of them. You actually are going to find out, you do, even with these guys with purple hair, that some of your beliefs, when you actually get down to it, are shared, right?
So pause there for a second. We'll play the video in a minute, but I think that's a really good point. And it's what we learned in the 2020 election fraud marches. We had BLM show up. Now, sometimes Antifa showed up and they were violent and they spit at us and screamed in our faces. But pretty much every weekend we had Black Lives Matter people show up, and they just wanted to converse. They wanted to share ideas, and there were some heated exchanges and heated debates, but it was very respectful. It was focused on the ideas, and the key takeaway was how much common ground we had.
Absolutely. And that's,
you did tell me that. Yeah, you did tell me that story.
and a lot of them aren't willing. Obviously, they're just full of hate and vitriol, and that's so I experienced that after like at least 20 minutes talking with this guy, and we could have spoken. He wanted to just keep going. Very calm, very interesting situation. A lot of back and forth Q&A, and suddenly, oh, by the way, he's masked completely. Black.
Yeah, we'll show him in just a second.
Yeah, this much showing, like burqa style, and he I keep asking him, like, talk to me about why you're covered, why you're completely covered. And he kept meaning to get there and would get distracted. Suddenly, 3 other masked, I won't call them gentlemen, creatures who are even in helmets show up and start screaming at me and just laying into me, telling me, like, why are you all so ugly on your side of the party? Why are you so ugly? And I'm looking around like, okay, first of all, that's our talking point. Like, right? We get to say that. But
yeah, Charity. Why are you so ugly? Why can't you look as beautiful as they do?
I'm like, sorry, I don't know. Yeah, and so he actually reeled these guys in and said, "Listen, guys, chill. She's actually really civil," and that kind of got them even more wound up. Because
all right, we're gonna play that part.
Yeah. Sorry, that was my last question because then I have to keep moving.
I wear the mask because, like I said, why is everybody on your side so fucking ugly? It's for my family.
Oh wow. Okay, that's interesting.
I will say she's because it's in your soul. Is that that she shines through? Wait, hold on.
He sort of seems afraid to defend you to them.
I do want to say,
and he's bigger than both of them.
I'll give her that. You know what about civil fucking Nazi? Oh, that's your outfit. Oh,
wow. This feels like the fight I was expecting tonight. But let's finish our interview because this is a little interruption.
The mask is to protect my family, just from any repercussion of, I don't know if one of these cops out here is like a hardcore bad person. They pull me over later. They recognize me. They go after my family.
Do you know anyone that's happened to personally?
No, but it's just prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
It's for protection. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of more. It's a scary world, and also, I think masks are great because as humans, what we do when we see a face is we look at everything in the face. Your brain responds to someone's lines on their forehead, the lines on their eyes. It's like yours. So your face tells me because the lines right here in the eyes, that tells me you smile a lot. So inherently,
fascist.
Like that, I'm even more trusting to you or whatever. But we're all individuals. We're all too different.
And so masks are great. So masks are great, even though we're so fascinating as creatures, and the lines tell him I smile a lot, which he tried to be really friendly. Like, I really think I could have gone and sat down with this guy and said, "Take the mask off. You don't have to worry about me."
And this is like a 10-minute video that we're just playing a little segment of. We'll get the entire thing up on coloradofreepress.com. But sorry, Charity, go ahead.
No, it's good. It's just, but he's even contradicting himself there, right? Like how important our features are. Yeah. And then he tells me at one point that he doesn't want people to see his ethnicity. That's partly why he had the mask on. I said, your ethnicity. And I got the camera really close up like I did there. And I'm thinking, dude, I see your freckles. Like, what ethnicity? You're as white as could be, German. Like, I don't know what he could be referring to, but yeah.
Oh, I wish we had that Dave Chappelle sketch where he's blind.
Oh, Clayton Bigsby?
Yeah. It'd be a perfect.
Black power.
Charity set that one up.
If you got hate in your heart, let it out.
And just, the other thing I keep thinking of is his comment that it's a dangerous world. I'm thinking, look around. Like, who's the danger here, right? who's at risk here? Why do we have 20 police officers down here? It's not because, you guys didn't bring the danger. Right? Yeah. I guess it's those cars that are driving by that you can so easily throw yourself in front of.
Somebody just got hit with a car. Trump supporter just got hit with a car in Idaho just now.
Oh.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Find that. Pull it in. Do you want to play any more of this, Charity?
Nah. We're good. I'll shoot it over to you. But
I have it. I'll get it up on Colorado Free Press as soon as the show's over, for folks to be able to go watch the full thing.
Yeah.
What's up, Oregon?
Shout out to firefighter PJ. Shout out from Southern Oregon, because Southern Oregon, man, y'all as blue as could be, bro.
Solidarity, solidarity, Oregon. We see you.
Yeah, man.
Keep up the good fight. All right. So this was a particularly fun moment for me. So again, we're on the same side that Charity's on. This is where the protest really happened after the early bits. And this is a couple of attendees to the event. The two Black people here were attendees at the GOP event. The guy yelling at them is, effectively calling them white supremacists. I hope that you can hear what he says, but I tried to enhance the audio and I think I failed.
Immigrants are welcome here. Attacking civilians.
Yes.
When immigrants
An Uncle Tom if you want.
What do we do? What do we do? When trans blacks are under attack, what do we do?
Do you think only Black people can say the word Uncle Tom? And I don't think we can hear any of what she says, unfortunately, because of the shouting in the background. Do you not think Mark Robinson is an Uncle Tom?
How is
that racist?
I'm literally not a liberal.
I'm literally not a liberal.
I do not support the Democrats at all.
I do not support the Democrats at all. I want to know how what I said is white supremacist.
Are under attack. What do we do? What do we do?
I didn't tell you how to be black.
I didn't tell you how to be Black.
What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Stand up,
I did not tell you what to do.
I did not tell you what to do.
Stand up, fight back.
I said you are sympathizing with Nazis.
I said you are sympathizing with Nazis. So he probably called her a Nazi before, and now he's backpedaling.
Stand up, fight back. And it's so important that we
But
fight
when you
back.
don't call Nazis Nazis, how are they supposed to know?
But if you don't call Nazis Nazis, how are they supposed to know?
Then you're not a journalist.
Then you're not a journalist. You're a propagandist. You're doing propaganda.
If you don't tell the truth,
If you dare to struggle,
they weren't.
if you dare to struggle,
Comparing yourself to...
And if you don't dare to struggle, damn it, you don't deserve to win.
Apparently, this woman literally defended Nazis on camera. She's comparing herself to Martin Luther King.
Apparently, this woman who literally defended Nazis on camera is comparing herself to Martin Luther King Jr.
People are Looney Tunes, man. These people are absolutely Looney Tunes. And the thing about it is, like, you know who they know who to do that to. I'm gonna just be totally honest with you. They know who to talk to like that. Because if you really, it's funny. I watched the video. It was maybe an 8-minute video of Benny Johnson, the YouTuber, going down to the hood in Florida and passing out MAGA hats, right? I guarantee you nobody would have ran up on any of these brothers and said, like, yo, you're this, that, and the third. You would have gotten your head knocked off. Like, they know who to approach like that. Like, I don't even have a MAGA hat, but I kind of want one just to see what happens.
You need one. I'm kind of disappointed to hear that.
Nobody ever gave me one, and then I don't want to get an unauthentic one. You know what I'm saying? Everybody on Temu sells them, and
you don't buy a MAGA hat on Temu.
Yeah, I don't want to buy one from an unauthentic dealer. But
Well, go to Trump's page.
Yeah, I
Go to the
could do.
Trump
Yeah,
store.
yeah, okay, yeah.
What do you guys think about the assertion that if you don't call Nazis Nazis, how will they know?
I mean,
No
the
one's
Nazis knew that they were Nazis.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
Yeah,
like,
I think the people holding the swastikas are
yeah, like
most consistent with the
the ones
Nazi
spray
ideology.
painting swastikas on
Right,
Cybertruck.
carving them in with keys,
I'm
bomb
still
threats.
waiting. I'm still waiting for one of my homies with a Cybertruck to tell me that their trucks gotten vandalized. Like
right.
because they're probably gonna be telling me from prison. I can tell you that it's not gonna go the way people think this is gonna go.
Right.
Like I haven't seen a Tesla. Any Tesla owner I know is still walking around here untouched. What do you say, Ash? An armed society is a polite society.
It is 100%. It is. Armed society is a polite society. If you don't call Nazis Nazis, how will they know? Well, the Nazis knew that they were Nazis. What you're doing is redefining Nazi to apply to your political opponent. I am not a liberal. I don't support Democrats at all. Well, right. You're a domestic terrorist and you're using threats of violence to achieve your political ends, and you feel real comfortable mocking a Black woman and what she has to say about Martin Luther King Jr., calling her, associating her, implying that she is a Nazi or at least a Nazi sympathizer, and implying that she's an Uncle Tom, and then calling Black Republicans Uncle Toms outright because of your political ideology. That's Nazi shit, man.
That's you know what that is? It's like it's just I think Karen coined it best. The crazy white liberal shit. Like you
It would.
can't it's like if you as soon as you start thinking like it's astonishing when you meet like white liberals and you explain to them your mind like how you think and what you believe. They're like they're appalled. They're like, how are you voting against your own interests? Like they'll ask you stupid shit like that. Like, what the hell do you know what my interests are? Bitch, I'm a capitalist. Like, what you talking about?
These
I
are the people calling you Nazis.
I'm that's the final boss in the video game. So I'm not
In
fighting that.
case you
I'm
need to
not
see him from the
and
back.
here's the thing. I can't like if that person approached me, I just walk the other way. Because if you beat this person's ass, you go to jail.
Right.
Yeah, totally right, because there's probably some sort of mental situation happening
Yeah,
there.
you going to jail.
Yeah.
You going to jail. You going to
He was
jail.
there early. I'm sorry. I keep using pronouns and I don't want to
I
assume.
know. I don't know. I
I
kept
don't
trying
want
to
to
figure out
assume it
what that is.
when any of these people refer to themselves as but that one this person was there at 2:30. This
So
person was there the
disturbing.
whole day.
Look how exhausted this person looks. They
This
got half the
person is
vest. They
very
got half the
tired.
vest off. They look like they just came off the construction site.
Word.
I think he was looking for a friend, you know. I don't know that
Like,
I ever
yeah,
saw
why do they
anyone.
look so lonely?
He was. That's why he's there. He
Did
belongs.
did y'all like clearly y'all saw this person? Like, were they always standing alone? Was like nobody
Mhm.
talking to this person?
He was. I absolutely. Ash, I don't know if you saw him interacting with anyone, but I didn't. Just
No, just right in the center of it all the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Just
don't
standing there
I
looking
don't know that
lost.
he spoke to somebody.
He's waiting to get picked up, I think.
I think we have a couple more.
This is why they look forward to these things, like my people.
All right, one
Somebody,
more,
I'm
and
leaving
then we'll
home. I'm
move
leaving
on
here
to
with
inside
somebody.
the venue.
No fear, no hate. No fear, no hate. No ice in our state. No ice in our state. No fear, no hate. No fear, no hate. No ice in our state.
That was my favorite. All right, that's enough of that. No fear, no hate, no ice in our state. Ice bad, blah blah blah, whatever. So my favorite thing about this was that the whole day there was MAGA drag trucks driving through their protests. So cars decked out, loads of Trump flags, loads of American flags all day long driving through their protest.
What is the reddest county in y'all state?
Douglas.
How far is that from Denver?
It's where I live. It's about
okay.
35, 40 minutes from Denver.
It's right in between, Springs and Denver, where we are.
Okay.
The biggest county is El Paso, which is Charities, and it's also pretty red, but not as red as Douglas. Douglas is the reddest, I think.
Gotcha.
I mean, of the populous counties, right? There's probably some rural ones that are more percentage-wise Republican, but
would you consider Douglas better governed than the other counties?
I think it depends on what we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yes, in terms of like dealing with migrant crime, dealing with property crime, all that kind of stuff, you FAFO in Denver or in Douglas. The cops here, the sheriff here, they're very much protective of the citizens and the way of life. So crime is not as easy in Douglas County. The school board, we thought we flipped it a couple years ago. It's still been a little bit icky.
Yeah, but during COVID, didn't they had proclamations that
at my kids' schools they had to get vaccinated to play sports.
What?
So it just depends on what we're talking, which issue we're talking about in terms
is there a lot of transing going on?
All the kids have trans in their school.
Okay.
It's just because they've always been there. They just weren't comfortable to emerge. It's definitely not because the teachers are grooming them.
Not at all. Not at all. Okay. All right. Interesting.
Okay. All right. So that was outside the venue. We're going to go. Actually, first, we're going to play an advertisement. And then we are going to go inside the venue. We will be right back.
Hey, Ash and Darren fans, Patrick Gunnels here. I want to talk to you about the amazing Tulip Blooms Aloe and Cucumber Serene Gel Cleanser. This isn't just a cleanser, it's a detox powerhouse. Packed with soothing aloe vera and refreshing cucumber, it gently sweeps away dirt, grime, and those invisible toxins clogging your pores. Feel the cool gel magic as it purifies, leaving your skin soft, hydrated, and ready to breathe again. In a world that's tough on us, this is your skin's chance to reset naturally. And right now at tulipblooms.shop, we're making it easier to stock up. Buy one and get the next one 25% off because your skin deserves a break, and so does your wallet. Head to tulipblooms.shop today. Use promo code ASH for an additional 10% off. And when you do that, it supports Ash in America and the Colorado Show and Ash and Darren. Tulipblooms.shop, promo code ASH.
All right. Tulipblooms.shop is the only skincare that I use. So
you know what Pat needs to do? He needs to give me that voiceover, right? And then I can make it into actually make it into a commercial with some music on it and everything. Like,
I got you. I'll send it to you after the show.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to go inside the venue. Now I have a few clips from Bannon's speech. We'll start with what he had to say about Colorado and immigration.
Hell, President Trump had to come here back in October. Why? Jared Polis had made this the national headquarters of murderous terrorist gangs that were murdering and intimidating and raping the working class Hispanics, working class whites, working class blacks in this state. They don't care. Trump had to come here, and these are the same groups that Trump's put on planes to get out of the country. They're taking him to the Supreme Court, of which he'll win. Polis, you jeopardize the entire nation by allowing this to be the headquarters.
I mean, it's a fact.
I mean, you know what? Let's give Steve Bannon one of these.
It's the highest honor on the Colorado Show.
Yeah, he told no lies. He told no lies.
Ash, did he start talking about his time in jail at all and the teaching that he did there?
Not really. No, I don't recall that.
Oh,
how long was he there? Like 4 months?
Several months, yeah. I don't know.
Navarro was there for 4 months. Peter Navarro, okay. Yeah.
I think I shared with you before that when I saw him speak a few months ago, he'd just gotten out of jail the day before. And so had so much to share, so many stories. And my favorite was when he had said he'd been approached and they said, hey, we try to find people with talents in here to teach classes and educate some of the less educated population. Can you teach civics? And
Nice.
He said, what? do you know who I am? Like, do you know why I'm here? He's looking around for like hidden cameras. And they said, yeah, we do. And we want you to teach. And he just talked about how hungry these guys were for knowledge and true history, and how he's still in touch with a lot of the guys from this jail who were so thankful for what he taught them and waking them up to stories, historic lessons that they've never heard, And he said, yeah, one of the guys, one day in class said, oh my gosh, so we're not really the criminals. The government is. And he's like,
ding,
Bingo.
ding, ding.
You graduate. You graduate.
You graduate.
He gets one of these. All right.
Yeah.
Powering up. All right. So next, this is a little bit of a longer clip, but this is what he had to say about kind of the forever wars.
The endless wars have to stop. That's what the promise of Trump is. Look what he's done so far in Ukraine. Look what he's done so far in the Middle East. Now, I know a lot of us are not fans of this thing with the Houthis, but you know what? He's calling the shots. He's got a plan of what he wants to do, peace and prosperity. And he's doing a damn good job. I'm going to tell you something. They got this book, Abundance, by Ezra Klein and Derek Thompson, two of the smartest guys on the left. And this abundance says, hey, you know what? We kind of looked at things, and although we have the credential class and all the billionaires and everything going on, people really hate the Democratic Party, hate what we stand for. And the reason is it's all about process. Dave Cohen says it's all about process. That's why nothing happens in California. What Jared Polis, all he's done is taken a pale version of what Newsom's done and put it here in Colorado. It's all about process. So they're sitting there on day 4, oh my Lord, on Signal. Tulsi Gabbard said this, hey, they did a strike from carrier battle groups, and I've been in those carrier battle groups in the North Arabian Sea as a young man. They pulled that off flawlessly, right, and delivered weapons onto the enemy. That's what's important, outcomes. President Trump's going to back his people, and you're sitting there going, oh, these crimes are committed, they're going to have crimes. Hey, screw you, right? We're tired of it. We're tired of you coming after Trump. We're tired of you coming after guys like Tom Tancredo, and we're particularly tired of you coming after Tina Peters.
All right. So stopping the endless wars. Here's the thing. There's two, and Charity and I might argue a little bit about this because we're both hopeful. One of us is more skeptical, I think. There's 2 Republican parties in the state of Colorado.
Oh, yeah?
In my opinion. There's the party faction that has controlled the apparatus of power going back to the turn of the century. And there is the rise up of the people that started happening after the 2020 election, when people that were sick and tired of the party here began taking, doing the precinct strategy, taking voting positions, organizing at the county level, organizing across the state to make change. And across the state, that played out at the county level. In El Paso County, where Charity lives, there was an overturning of the apparatus of power there. And the state level party really leaned into El Paso County over the past 4.5 years. Other places where the establishment figures stayed in power, the state party didn't really apply any pressure into those counties. And in 2023 was the last chair election, and Dave Williams was elected as chair. Now, I personally believe that Dave Williams was an America First leader of the party. He aligned with President Trump's agenda. He was focused on the issues mostly focused on the issues that mattered to the America First voters in the Republican Party, but he definitely had some missteps. He was accused of using the communications, and I think provably did use the communications, infrastructure of the party for his campaign for Congress.
Sorry.
went really hard at the gays, which is detached from understanding the landscape in the state of Colorado. We're very gay here. We're very supportive of all things gay here. And so going as hard against the I think it was God Hates Gays is what he published, if I'm not mistaken. This was back a while ago. We covered it on the show when it happened.
And didn't he call for flag burning too? Like burning the gay flag?
Possibly.
Which just
and that was a
misstep.
misstep.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a definite missteps that he made, right? But it's not as though there's a whole bunch of, and this is the world according to Ash, having covered Republican politics. I'm not a Republican. I am proudly unaffiliated, but I have, covered Republican politics going back to 2021 in this state. There's not a whole bunch of different options for voters in Colorado. I think there's two. I think there is the apparatus of power that's been in charge going back to the turn of the century. People like Ken Buck and Christy Burton Brown and their agenda for our state, which, in my opinion, that agenda is play the controlled opposition, uniparty right, raise a bunch of money, throw parties, and at the end of the day, throw up your hands and say, I'm sorry, our state got more communist this year. Democrats are in control. There's nothing that we can do. And then there is the wing that is the people rising up that want to fight back.
Right.
I see it as a binary. I really do. And that's because resources and infrastructure and donors and these things are fixed, in my opinion, into kind of two camps inside of our state. Okay. Let's go to the next clip and then we'll come back and we'll finish this part.
What kind of men and women would do this? And by the way, a lot of them were Republicans. You have to understand that. Yeah. Sheep in sheep's clothing, right? Those sneaky ones, you got to watch them all the time. You know why? Because they don't have any guts. The left says boo. And they're all, yeah, you're right. How do you think they took over this state? How do you think the country got in such bad shape until Trump came along? Tancredi can tell you. It's called controlled opposition. Didn't Republicans win the White House enough? Didn't they win enough House seats? Didn't they win enough governorships? Didn't they win enough Senate seats? How did the country get in this shape? It just wasn't radical Democrats. You had a party that was controlled opposition. You had a party that was too gutless. You had a party that didn't want you in it, right? You know why they don't want you in it? Because you're fighters. You're not going to back down. You've got what Colorado was built on. Grit, determination, guts, and common decency.
So on Saturday, there was an election for the new chair of the GOP. And it's important to understand that the new chair of the GOP did not hear Bannon's remarks because they were at a competing event next door.
Gotcha.
And that's where so I hope I'm wrong about this. I've met Britta Horn, one. Congratulations, Britta. I've met Britta in Twitter Spaces before, talked to her a little bit. I have no beef with her at all. I think she seems like a very nice lady, and that there's potential to bring the party together as long as it's focused on America first. And I hope that that's what happens. I really do, because it is important for defeating the communism in our state to have a strong Republican Party. The problem that I have is that it's not Britta. Britta's never done anything to me, right? Never done anything that I would even rebuke. It's the interests that are aligned behind her. It's a return to the people that were controlling the apparatus of power before the last 2 years of the America First experiment, which is now over. That's kind of what I see. Charity, I want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there are 2 Republican parties in Colorado. I think there are 3. And I find myself.
Hold up. That's a revelation.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I don't fall. No, and I think a lot of people would say that we don't adhere to either side. And unfortunately, the most of us in that center, and I think we're the center of the spectrum. We are America first. You know that about me. We are pro-Trump, J6ers, right? But we are there because in my, you'll probably recognize a lot of the same issues, but to me, it was unbearable to stand with these people that became so extreme. And I don't mean it in the way that people talk about extremism, right, in the party. It's just how ugly they got, how vicious they became. And I can sit down and have conversations with the Eli Brummers. I don't like them, but I can sit down, have conversations with Chuck and even Wayne Williams, and people, they still know that I don't like them, but we can have a respectable conversation. And the people on the Davidians, people would call them the Dave Williams side, can't. They just, all over social media, they're so nasty. So Carolyn Hancock, like, I just don't,
I don't know who that is.
Just the anger that comes out of them. It's like, I don't want to be associated with that, and their leader, Joe Altman. I don't want to be associated with that.
Does Joe Altman even live in Colorado anymore? I thought he was in Texas.
Yeah, I heard. Is it true? Someone the other night said the reason that he moved to Texas, although he claims he's back and forth, is because he is trying to escape law enforcement here because of the whole Coomer $1,000 a day sentencing. Yeah, it was the first time I heard that, but no,
I don't know.
He was here.
Let me ask you though, on your there's a third party, right? There's a third middle ground group. Does that group come with resources and infrastructure and funding and donors in any way?
No, not yet. I mean, we really don't. We're
just trying. So I really do hope that Britta is able, but that Britta is able to bring the different factions of the GOP together and get the Colorado GOP focused on fighting the communists.
Me too.
Because for as long as I've been covering this since 2020, the GOP is fighting itself over and over again. Mm-hmm. Different alliances, different people coming together and forming different factions, but all kind of tying back to the people versus the establishment. And the infighting is the focus. The infighting is the where the resources go, where the energy goes, where the headlines go, is to the GOP fighting itself internally. And that, I think, is a gift to the Democrats.
Oh yeah, they love it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know anything about that either, Crisscross.
I'm trying to think who that is.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. So the final Bannon clip that I'll play was I think there might be a little bit of overlap with the prior clip about controlled opposition, but it's about Tina, and I want to talk about Tina Peters next. Oh,
hold on, what? All right,
yeah. Listen, we're just super fucked up. All right,
fascinating to watch.
Yeah, here we go.
Tina Peters. What kind of state puts a Gold Star mother in a prison? Think about that. It's not Colorado, not the people of Colorado. It's the elites of Colorado, right? Those people up at the Aspen Institute, your governor, Polis, those Supreme Court. Let's think about it for a second. The reason I came here, and people said, so thank you, we're so forgotten. You're not forgotten. You're the next state that MAGA is going to take over. Because you're fearless. That's what it is, remember. Courage is the most important of all the virtues because it's upon courage that all the other virtues rest. What does Trump have but courage? What does Tancredo have but courage? What does a 70-year-old woman rotting in a jail cell on a Friday night in March in the year 2021 that already gave her son to this country? Is that disgusting?
So Tina Peters called into the event. I don't have that clip teed up, but she called into the event from prison up in Fort Collins. And apparently she's going to be moved again to Denver this time. So that's a bit concerning. I feel like Denver is its own state.
Ash, is she being moved because she's now going to prison because the jail sentence is up?
I believe that's correct.
So now it's federal, which we keep hearing is supposed to be a lot better than the actual. I mean, I don't know about the population there, but that the treatment is better in a prison than in a jail, which is interesting.
Typically, I know some people who are in prison and in the feds, and they say the feds is like a clubhouse, and they say like actual state prison is kind of sucky depending on what state you're in. Like one person I know in Nevada was like, it's just a cakewalk.
And hers will be state. You're right.
Yeah.
So Tina Peters' case is particularly interesting for us here in Colorado right now. Of course, we want Tina to be let out of prison. Lying to Jenna Griswold is just good business. It's not something that should require 9 years in prison. And that is what Tina ultimately is being punished for, is having the gall to challenge the word of Jenna Griswold. And she took steps to preserve images because she didn't trust Jenna Griswold. So she misled Jenna Griswold and the office of the Secretary of State, but she did it because she was investigating them. Didn't matter in the court. Her intentions weren't allowed to be presented to the jury at all. And she was found guilty of making, 4 felonious misrepresentations to the Secretary of State. It was one misrepresentation to basically 4 people. And so each one of those was a felony. There were some misdemeanors as well, like official misconduct type stuff. And they moved her and they found her guilty. The judge then gave her 9 years for lying.
They railroaded that woman, man.
It's absolutely political. But the DOJ issued a statement of interest in her habeas corpus motion and said, we're going to be conducting an investigation into what happened with Tina Peters to see if this is really in the interest of justice or if this was a political persecution or weaponization of government, which of course it was.
You got to think, like, look at Jenna Griswold, like look at how hard she went to keep Trump and his people out of office. Like she went balls to the wall.
Yep.
Because I think she knows what's coming down.
Hold that thought, because that actually gets into our next story, which we'll try to get through before the end of the show. So the DOJ says we're going to do an investigation. On Tuesday of last week, they doubled down on that in a filing in Tina's case and said we're in an active investigation. The day before that filing came in from the DOJ, Christopher Beal, the Deputy Secretary of State of Colorado, quit told the clerks that he quit. He allegedly, the story goes, he took a 5-week sabbatical and then decided that he really wanted to go back to being a lawyer. He said, I used to work in the AG's office and I want to go back to being a lawyer. My hypothesis is that he's going to go back to being a lawyer inside of the AG's office, because I think they're shoring up defenses for a fight against the DOJ. If the DOJ is investigating the Tina Peters situation, then they're going to find themselves in August of 2021. And in August of 2021, that's when Tina Peters got on the stage at the Cyber Symposium. That's when they raided her office. That's the month that it happened, August of 2021. We know from our case, USCIP case, that August 2021 was a month when the Secretary of State, working with the U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI, some of the local law enforcement, and the Colorado AG's office was focused on fighting people that didn't believe that the election was real. They were very focused on grassroots people that were denying the election and tracking them, and in many different cases persecuting them. When you look at that, I would hope, unless it was all destroyed, that you're going to find the DOJ and U.S. Attorney's Office side of those communications. We've seen some of the Secretary of State's side of those communications, but we haven't seen the other side of them. I think you get to criminal conspiracy to like a conspiracy against rights when you start to look at all of that laid out and exactly what they did in light of the fact that they still have to abide by the Constitution, right? We still have our First Amendment rights intact. We still have our Fourth Amendment rights intact, but apparently we don't in the state of Colorado. And the new DOJ should have the DOJ side of those communications, which could be really troublesome for the executive branch of Colorado.
That's crazy.
It's coming down.
Yeah, it's about to get nasty.
And Ash,
Yeah,
I love you. We're probably going to point out, like you have on other shows, the fact that Jenna Griswold, who went dark, went quiet on social, suddenly is speaking out again.
I mean,
well, yeah, but it's not her voice, though. Here's the thing. So she issued a press release, right? President Trump's election integrity executive order is, voter suppression or some shit. I forget what she said, but it was very generic. It was it was not in her usual super ragey, rage against the Trump machine voice. She has been silent since
out of her voice, huh?
Yep, she's been silent since November, but we know. And I say we know because it's testimony in federal court while Chris Beall was under oath. We know that he ran that office. He was the chief of all the staff. He was in charge of all of the open records, ultimate veto on open records. The buck stops with him on open records unless a court overrules him, is what he said under oath. He ran that office and now he's gone. And the clerks just found out about it on Monday. And he's been replaced with Andrew Klein, who is a Clinton animal, like a Clinton campaign attorney, Biden attorney, Obama attorney, former Perkins Coie. And so if the deputy secretary of state was running the office when it was Chris Beall, it's not a stretch to believe that the deputy secretary of state is running the office now. Jenna does nothing. She attends parties and kisses babies. We don't see any work out of her. We don't see any real knowledge out of her. If you look at her interviews after the BIOS password breach, she had panic in her eyes and she just kept saying 2 sets of passwords because she doesn't actually know how things work. When you do open records on Jenna Griswold, you don't get anything. She does not have email communications. They're not produced at all, ever. And that, so who's running the office? Well, up until this past week, it was Chris Beall, the deputy secretary of state, who came out of the AG's office, was outside counsel for the secretary's office before becoming the deputy secretary of state in early 2021. He's gone now. So ostensibly, the new deputy secretary of state is running the office now. That's a former Perkins Coie Democrat machine guy.
Was he brought in from out of state?
That I don't know.
That'd be really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I think he probably spent a lot of time in Washington, D.C., but I don't know where his regular is. Holly at Altitude, holly@altitude.com, Cholly, CHOLLY on X. She did some reporting on how Perkins Coie attorneys ending up inside of secretaries of state offices around the nation is actually pretty common.
Jeez. Of course it is.
I know, of course it is, right? All right.
Machine.
That is that's gonna do it for us today. Final comments from both of you guys. Charity, go ahead.
3 parties. There's 3 parties in Colorado. 3
I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong and that the uniparty establishment did not just reclaim power of all of the party power in the state.
I'm not sure where Britta falls, so I can't say that for sure, but let's hope that she's in the middle cog. We'll see.
Yeah. I think the 3-party I think the 3-party thing, like, for that to be true, we have to believe that the establishment party just disappeared this time around. And that's a hard one.
No, I agree with you that they were behind Britta. Yeah, for sure. They were. Wayne Williams came to her meet and greet.
Yeah, Christy Burton Brown's out there celebrating on X. So we'll see. I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're right. And I hope that Britta can unite the Republicans across the state. I hope she sticks with the Libertarian Pledge. I hope that doesn't go away.
She needs to find dirt on all of them.
I hope that she does do what she said she was going to do and support closing the primaries. I'm very skeptical that that's going to be allowed to happen, but I hope it happens. And I'll give her the, the benefit of the doubt and hope that it goes in the direction of America first. I'm just very skeptical because of the interests that are aligned behind her. As I said, it's not about Britta. Britta always seemed like a nice lady to me. It's about the interests that lined up behind her in this election. Darren, your final thoughts.
I live in Florida.
So
Jealous.
typical.
Jealous.
All right, everybody. Well, please do us a favor and hit the like button wherever you're watching us. Helps us out quite a bit. Check out our incredible sponsors at the Wellness Company. Promo code CDM ALP. Promo code CDM and tulipblooms.shop. Promo code ASH. And we will see you next Sunday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Charity, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you and appreciate your perspective always.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for having me.
Peace.